Forgive the weird angle. I lost my tripod somewhere. Just want to hop on real quick and encourage you to stop trying to understand Donald Trump. Cut it out, will you? Stop trying to think about his economic moves in terms of how it could possibly benefit the United States. That is not his concern. Stop thinking about the things he's doing in the context of modern political history. That's not going to work. You're never going to understand exactly what he's doing unless someone leaks it or testifies against him once we have arrested him and removed him from our White House. You're not going to understand. Have you ever dated someone who was batshit crazy, and when you broke up, you thought, man, I don't understand. Why did they do that? Why did they act like that? And you felt a need for them to understand you, and you felt a need to get closure and to just grasp this person's behavior. Well, it's likely that either you and that person were just so different that you would never understand, or that person was experiencing mental illness or narcissism or sociopathy or something where you're not going to get it. And I've had to realize this in past relationships when I was younger, and I've told this to friends more recently. It's not your job to understand. It's not your job to understand a toxic person who is operating with a completely different set of values than you. You're never going to understand, but what you will do is drive yourself batshit crazy attempting to understand. Excuse me. So I want to encourage you, stop trying to find the rationale, because best case scenario, there is no rationale, and it's just a elderly pedophile with a low IQ committing dumb fuckery worldwide. That's best case. Best case. Worst case, I've already told you, which I personally believe, this is all an attempt to destabilize the United States economy, which rich people don't give a fuck if that happens, because they're already rich, and they're just going to become more rich. If a war happens, they'll get more rich. If a pandemic happens, they'll get more rich. If a recession happens, they'll get more rich. That's what rich people do. They get richer. And poor people get poorer, especially in this country. So, worst case, it's a deliberate destabilization of our economy and currency, which I believe it is. And again, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. I don't fully know the relationship with China, but I know they've done a lot of shit that helps China. So I don't fully buy these 145% tariffs on China as some punishment or some animosity, because what it's really doing is driving all the countries that we've already pissed off with all his other bullshit towards China. And China, who is already a superpower, I don't know why people say they might become a superpower. They're a superpower. They have no debt. They have tons of surplus, tons more money than could ever be spent in a million lifetimes. They are building shit. While we are pissing off other countries, they are building ports in the Bahamas and managing the Panama Canal, and I mean, they're doing things globally that are called soft power, the exact kind of stuff that we just stopped doing through USAID. So maybe it looks like we're penalizing China, but what we're really doing is helping their soft power, helping their trade relations. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, we're never going to know until we remove him from the White House and put him on trial, and hopefully some of his people speak against him. And that's the last part of the video. That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. This guy is deporting people who, on accident. This father in Maryland who was in the car with his 5-year-old autistic kid. I have a 7-year-old autistic kid. I cannot imagine just being pulled out of the car with him in the car and sent to a fucking concentration camp. And then everybody, including federal judge, goes, hey, you actually weren't supposed to deport that guy. You can't do that. And the Trump administration, their lawyer said, oh, you're right, we weren't supposed to deport him. And then the judge goes, get him back. And they go, nah, no thanks. These are lawless people, okay? 75% of the people they are putting in this concentration camp, and that's what it is. It is a fucking concentration camp. If you don't think so, watch the video of Kristi Noem doing her white trash Barbie dress up Fisher Price, My First Homeland Security bullshit with her fake fucking outfits and all that, standing in front of platformed beds. Like, these people are palletized. It looks just like Nazi concentration camps. 75% of the people sent to this have zero criminal records in the states they came from, the countries they came from, or in the United States. 75% of them. With no trial, no due process, snatched off the street and sent to a fucking concentration camp. If you think that same person that is doing all this is gonna let us have fair and accurate midterms, wake the fuck up. If you think that same person that's doing all that and not following the orders of federal judges, while obviously doing market manipulation and insider trading for the richest people on earth, gutting, they've now fired half the people at Social Security. They've now cut those programs by $880 billion, while giving themselves a tax cut that will add $4 to $5 trillion to the national debt. If you think those people are gonna allow fair elections to happen moving forward, wake the fuck up. It is time to remove him. It's not time to talk about it or come up with a strategy. It is time for the United States of America, the real Americans, to remove this motherfucker from the White House. And I'm not talking about me and you physically going, not yet. I'm talking about us shifting the paradigm well enough, effectively enough, through massive protest, way bigger than what happened on April 5th. Filling the streets of DC. It's great that you can protest where you live. You need to protest where they live, and they live in Washington, DC. We need a couple million people in Washington, DC. We need to shut the fucking city down. We need to flood social media using their hashtags. If your shit's not getting seen, take it all down and post it back using their hashtags. Trump Train, MAGA, Trump 2025, Go Elon, whatever the fuck their hashtags are. Use their hashtags when you post your shit. We need to flood the zone with anti-Trump sentiment so that whoever is left in our country who has a spine and some capability, people in military intelligence, these people that are fucking lifelong spies who are being fired, they're not happy, I promise. They feel the same way you do, I promise. We need to give these people who are inevitably talking to each other, we need to give them the permission structure to move forward with doing what they need to do. And seeing 2 million of us in the streets of Washington, D.C. can do that. We need to give permission structure to other NATO countries to do what they need to do. NATO leaders teaming up with real Americans in this country, real leaders in this country, can remove him from office. It happens all the time. Just happened in South Korea. Dude declared martial law. They fucking got him out. Now he's being prosecuted. If they can do it, we can do it. And that's what has to happen. We can't wait till midterms. We can't wait till 2028. We need to fucking remove him. And our job as citizens is giving them the infrastructure and the foundation of obvious and apparent popular opinion against him for our leaders to do what they need to do. That is your job. That is your only job. And we better do it real fucking quick.